Hello there Peachies, welcome back to yet another Creative Sim video. In today's video, I'm going to be creating 7 Sims that are inspired by the Pixie Hollow fairies. This was a comment I got on my last video that I posted like 2 weeks ago. We're not going to talk about that, okay? We're going to get straight into the video. As always, the Sims will not look exactly like the characters. They are made in my Sim style, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about each character and the thought process as I was making them, okay? So first, of course, we're going to start with Tinkerbell. So Tinkerbell, despite her appearances, is a very sassy, feisty, stubborn, and hot-tempered fairy. Upon meeting Wendy and the other humans, Tink immediately shows disgust and irritation, mostly out of jealousy. Yeah, so the first time I ever saw Tinkerbell, of course, was in the Peter Pan movie that was literally almost 20 plus years ago. I really don't remember the last time I've seen the Peter Pan movie or the last time I've seen anything of the Pixie Hollow fairies, the movie, and all that jazz. This drives Tink to perform acts in both selfish and even murderous ways, much to Peter's annoyance.
Don't you know you might have killed her?
However, despite her rough exterior, at her core, Tinkerbell is devoted and loyal to those that she loves, and will eventually come to terms with those she resents, should they prove themselves worthy of friendly treatment. So all of the information that I'm reading about these characters comes from the Disney Wiki. I'll have everything linked in the description. As for the CC links, those will be posted on my Patreon as soon as possible. I still have some other characters to catch up on, but yeah, when I first started this video, it took probably a couple days for me to finish all of these Sims. Normally when I have a little bit more creative freedom, I'm able to finish Sims a lot faster and not think so much about the way they look. So these Sims actually came out really beautifully. I think out of all the characters, Tinkerbell was probably not my most favorite Sim. She was the first one I made, of course, but as I made more and more Sims, I think you guys will agree, well, we'll see, who your favorite character that I made is today. As always, if you guys enjoy the video, don't forget to like and comment down below who your favorite character was today. And if you want to, and you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe to my channel. My voice is already messing up. Okay, so for each of the characters, I did give them 2 different outfits, and it wasn't the same outfit category for each of the Sims. So I gave Tinkerbell her classic Tinkerbell look, and then for her second look, I was going for more of a working vibe. This is something that I feel like Tinkerbell would wear as she is tinkering, looking for things to make more things out of, and I think she came out really nicely. I had a couple choices as far as her outfit, but for their wings, the old wings that I did have were just not up to par, up to my liking anymore, so I didn't end up using the classic Pixie Hollow fairy wings. Oh gosh, a fly. But I ended up going for a different set of wings that I think kind of look similar to the Pixie Hollow fairy wings. Okay, so the next sim I'm going to be making today is going to be Rosetta, and literally the first thing I think about when I think of Rosetta is...
Yeah, no, I don't really do much.
But you're a garden fairy!
Ironic, isn't it?
So Rosetta is a garden talented fairy. She is well-mannered but has quick wit and is also very charming. Rosetta shares the same sassy streak as Tinkerbell and always tries to look her best and loves giving beauty tips to the other fairies. She also likes giving makeovers to the other fairies and animals and flowers. Okay, what? She's girly and speaks in a southern accent. Her close friends are Fawn and Silvermist, which are 2 other Sims I'm going to be making today. So of course, the fairies of Pixie Hollow never age, but since Rosetta was in Hollywood, almost said Hollywood, anyway, was in Pixie Hollow longer than the other fairies, she's considered to be a little more wise. It's revealed that although she is a garden fairy, she dislikes mud. She tends to become guilty of judging a book by its cover, and in the pirate fairy, Rosetta temporarily becomes an animal fairy, much to her dismay. I always get Fawn and Rosetta mixed up, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how, but I thought Rosetta was like a garden slash animal fairy, but that's 2 different things. There's actually quite a lot of different fairies. I was looking up each kind so I can get the vibe and aesthetic right for each of the characters, and there's quite a lot of different types of fairies. Oh, so for Rosetta's look, I wanted to give her a Southern Belle kind of glam. She looks like she may participate in debutantes or something. I gave her 2 different everyday outfits. Of course, the first one was going to be more closely resembling her classic look from the Pixie Hollow movies, and then for her second everyday outfit, it's a little more my style, something that I feel like I would put on an OC fairy if I was to make fairies. I actually have made quite a lot of fairies. Before this one, I made, like when I first started my YouTube channel again, I made a fairy, okay, and then I gave my fairy a makeover in more outfits, and then I also made the rainbow fairies back in June 2024. That was so long ago. So many things have changed, but hopefully things will get better very soon. It's very weird times, okay, for America, but Well, for the world, I should say. Getting back on track, the next character I'm going to be making is going to be Iridessa. On my rainbow fairies, I got a lot of comments saying that my yellow fairy reminded them of Iridessa, and I'm going to be honest, I did not take any inspiration from Iridessa. I have very little experience with the Pixie Hollow fairies, and so I got pictures from Pinterest, like cosplay pictures. I'm pretty sure I had a picture on the screen of my inspiration. If not, I had a whole mood board, but Iridessa was not on there. Like literally when I looked it up, I was like, oh, that's who Iridessa is. But I could see the resemblance, but at the same time, not really. Iridessa is one of the most talented fairies, not only as a light fairy, but as a fairy overall. She is unmatched at what she does. Okay, black girl power. Power. I'm trying to say black power and black girl magic. Anyway, she's unmatched at what she does and takes great pride in it. Time for some tea. Don't laugh at me. Being a bright and shining girl full of energy, her profession as a light fairy fits perfectly. Iridessa is detail-oriented and a perfectionist. She finds joy in the things that go her way and hates when it's even one bit out of place. Iridessa constantly strives for perfection and balance around Pixie Hollow, believing that her way is the best and only way to go about things. Iridessa is very persistent and determined in achieving her goals. She shows amazing energy no matter how painstaking it is for her. Iridessa never lets herself falter and will always in the end be successful. Iridessa can be a bit of a worrywart or worrisome, preferring to stay out of trouble and take as few risks as possible. Iridessa picks up very easily on danger, making her very cautious of her surroundings. She's observant. Her friends often mistake this for paranoia, so they do not often take her advice. Like I was saying, she is a bit worrisome, so although she tries her best to be as optimistic as possible, she can still sometimes think about the negative outcome in certain situations. It can take some convincing to get her to go along with a risky plan, mostly out of stubbornness, a trait that Tinkerbell also has. Nevertheless, Iridessa again tries to remain as optimistic as possible, even in times of peril. Even though she is usually the most cautious out of all the other fairies, she can still shine even brighter than any other fairy to keep the peace in her friendship circle. In the end, she will do anything to help a friend. Iridessa was a bit of a challenge, simply because I did not have the right hairstyle that I wanted to give her. Iridessa has some tight cornrows that go back into a bun, puff bun, but the front is braided down. And I don't have anything like that. I've got big locks that go into a bun, but I feel like locks wouldn't really fit her aesthetic. So I gave her more of a puff situation with a cute headband that I think fits her nicely. For her other everyday outfit, I wanted to give her something that looked very comfortable. This is something that you would wear in a shopping day, okay, in spring, which spring has sprung, okay. The bees are out, the butterflies is out, and the bugs is out. It's a little bit of dog hair in my tea. Anyway, I think the dress that I gave Iridessa fit her aesthetic and her color scheme perfectly. Let me know what you guys think, of course. And then we're gonna move on to the next sim, which is gonna be Silvermist. Oh, no, Vidia. Oh, I love Vidia. She was my favorite. She is such a baddie, okay? Vidia is sly, moody, vindictive, and selfish, but has a good heart when all is said and done. She tends to use sugary phrases such as darling and dear condescendingly to the other fairies. She is said to be one of the fastest fairies in Pixie Hollow, but her title goes straight to her head, as she is determined to keep her title and goes to great lengths to achieve this. Not only does she feel that she is the best in speed, but the best overall fairy, and berates anyone who thinks otherwise. So she's full of herself, okay? She knows she's that girl. I almost said another word, but she knows she's that girl. She's incredibly strong-willed and outspoken, much like Tinkerbell, which can also indicate why these fairies often clash. They always bump heads, okay? Despite her negative traits, Vidia ultimately has a good heart, most notably in Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue, where she follows after Tinkerbell, where she stays out of trouble and traps her in a fairy-sized house made by a human girl in an attempt to teach Tink a good lesson on how dangerous humans can be. Okay, I don't know how that shows she has a good heart, but okay. Vidia follows her, lets her get trapped, and then rescues her to teach her a lesson. But ultimately, she puts aside her animosity to help Tinkerbell understand the dangers of humans. Even so, she still maintains her anti-hero personality as seen in the Pixie Hollow games, where she's looking forward to Rosetta embarrassing herself during the competitions, knowing the Garden Fairy's fear of the dirt. I said dirt. Dirt and mud. Oh god, stop. She still holds her low opinion for Tinker Fairies when she, Tinker, and Silvermist switched talents, with her becoming a Tinker Fairy, much to her horror. I guess a little bit of karma. Since she's gonna hold such a low opinion of Tinker Fairies, maybe she should learn her lesson by being one, or seeing what it feels like to be one, essentially. Anyway, I love Vidia, my sim. She was so cute. I loved her so much. She was my favorite out of all the sims I made today. Who was my second favorite? It's gonna be the last fairy. But that's a little bit of a surprise, maybe. I'm not sure what my thumbnail's gonna look like yet, y'all. But next we're gonna be creating silvermist. So silvermist was actually my second favorite initially until I got to the last fairy, but we'll see who that is when we get there. So,
That was bad. That was horrible.
I almost spit. So silvermist is a water talented fairy who is best described as sweet, silly. She's always ready to lend an ear to a fairy in need and always gives them good advice. And at the end of the day, she is a very good fairy to be friends with. Silvermist has an eccentric way of seeing things, very much a free spirit. She often listens to her heart more than her head. She's an easygoing fairy who's eager to please and makes friends very easily. Her sense of loyalty is unmatched and it often rubs off on Tinkerbell. Silvermist's guilty pleasure is listening to rumors and Neverland gossip from the babbling brook. That's hilarious. We think she's all sweet and she is in love with the drama, okay? It is mentioned that she is the only fairy in Pixie Hollow who does not believe in curses or any other fairy superstitions. First of all, Silvermist is gorgeous. The sim I made is gorgeous. I love her so much. The art I use as inspiration, I think heavily inspired the way I wanted Silvermist to look, and I think she came out perfectly. Like I was saying before, she was my second favorite sim because she was so beautiful. So the dress I ended up giving Silvermist was a little more ethereal than the other fairies, I think personally, but I think it fits her aesthetic very well. She looks like the description was saying, very carefree. She kind of goes with the flow like the water, okay? I think the second dress that I gave her for like a more modern look, I should say, for some of the fairies was very reminiscent of her personality as well and her aesthetic. I feel like this is a dress that she would probably wear to the beach. She would probably have her toes out, okay? You know, walking on the shoreline with her friends, walking off into the sunset. Now the next sim I'm going to be making is Fawn, and Fawn was one of my lesser favorite sims, and I think it's just because of her outfit. I really couldn't figure out what to give these sims because they're all wearing, like the characters themselves are wearing leaves. These are leaves that they're wearing for clothes. I don't have anything like that, so I have to just kind of make it up as I go. I've found that I'm very literal when it comes to making sims that are inspired by characters, so I'm trying to step away from that because of course I don't have CC that's gonna look exactly like outfits and hairstyles and stuff similarly enough to the characters. I just kind of took a step back and put a little bit more peachy into these sims. I think that's why they came out so good. I'm just gonna be honest. Every single one of them is really cute. My sim style is still kind of evolving, if you will. I think I'm going back to a more cartoony look, and I'm trying not to do that, but at the same time, I just like for my sims to be cartoony because that's how the game looks. Anyway, Fawn's hair was the hardest thing to do because, you know what, I don't know. It just was hard. I don't really have a lot of long braids, and the inspo I used, she had a really, really long braid down her back. So yeah, I wanted her to still kind of have like a earthy look to her. I think her color palette for her outfit kind of fits that. Fawn is full of joy and she's very mischievous. She's always ready to play, and the more rough the game, the better. Fawn is a natural prankster. She likes to play tricks on Iridessa, Beck, and Horace. Whoever those other two are, let me know because I didn't do enough research. And Tinkerbell loves her mischievous nature. She speaks many different animal languages, but the burp-like toad speak is her favorite. Fawn also has a softer side to her, being one of the caretakers of Mother Dove in the books. Given her connection to animals, she's considered one of the best animal-like fairies. Fawn is a rascal, and one of the things she dislikes the most is getting all dressed up. As a caretaker of animals, Fawn has shown a motherly side, especially when dealing with baby birds, as she has been shown to show the parents how to teach their babies how to fly. She's also said to be the youngest out of Tinkerbell's friends. Yeah, so I think for Fawn's regular fairy outfit, like I said, it was not my favorite, but I think her other everyday outfit was really nice. I gave her a grunge look, if you will, okay? And I think her outfit was absolutely bomb. That's something I would wear, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I need to get that outfit in my closet. I think a grunge look suits her very nice. She's very earthy, so of course I went for earthy tones with the orange and the browns, and I think she came out beautifully. Her outfit was probably my second favorite. Vidia was my favorite sim. Her outfit was also my favorite. Moving on to the last sim I'm going to be making today, and that's going to be Periwinkle. Little did I know, Periwinkle is Tinkerbell's twin sister. So Periwinkle is very bubbly and adventurous. She is often very cheerful and always open to new ideas and innovations. Like Tink, she collects discarded items found in Neverland, but rather than calling them lost things as Tinkerbell does, Periwinkle calls them found things, which is so cute because in my opinion, most twins are not exactly the same. They have two different ways of thinking. Okay, and I'm talking from experience. They have two different ways of thinking. They're very similar, but at the same time, completely different. I hate when people pretend like, ooh, you're the same person, like y'all are clones, and that's not nice, first of all. It's nice to be acknowledged as an individual, okay? And when you're a twin, identical twin, at that, sometimes that just goes over people's heads because people who don't have twins don't have to deal with that constant comparison type thing. Like every fairy, Pearl is forbidden from ever crossing the border to the other seasons of Pixie Hollow, as it is said to be dangerous for a winter fairy because of the warm temperature. Even so, Perry grew up with a fascination with the world beyond her own and dreamed of visiting it. When she first meets Tinkerbell, the bond between the two causes them to think of ways to cross the border. When they do, however, it causes danger. I'm gonna just say this right now. I love Periwinkle's look. I just don't like her hair at all. I didn't even try to look for a hairstyle that looks like that. I mean, I had one already kind of similar, but I looked at it, didn't like it, completely threw the idea. I'm not gonna be putting that hair on my sim. I'm so sorry. Maybe for another sim in the future, but I didn't want to find one that looked like that hair for these sims because they all look so good, so I want to keep that going. I mean, I could have given her like a cute pixie cut, which was what I was going for, but I think her little windswept ponytail is actually cute. And it kind of reminds me like maybe her hair is frozen. I don't know. Kind of cute to me. I decided to give Periwinkle a second outfit in the winter category or the cold weather category because she's a winter fairy. So I wanted to give her a cute, kind of cozy sweater aesthetic for her second outfit, which is a more modern look of the fairy herself. Anyway, if you guys made it this far, I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, okay? Make sure you guys are watching the video all the way through so that YouTube can share my content with more people, and thus we will have more peachies. I want to quickly thank all of my patrons. Right now my tiers are currently, the billing is paused. I'm gonna keep posting my sims there, the CC links of course, posting sim downloads whenever possible. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I know it's been a while. There's gonna be more giveaway information very soon because EA is just rolling out these creator kits like crazy, so I'm gonna do my best to get that out. And also, if you guys are interested in other content besides the Sims, I have another YouTube channel that I've started posting on. Really don't need to be doing that but it's kind of a backup for my TikTok page where I post things about my gaming PC, gaming setup, other games in general. So if that's something that you're interested in, head over there. And I only got 2 shorts, so you can watch it if you like and subscribe as well. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Why do I feel like I forgot something? I probably did.